Did you know? Just 48 hours before Casablanca premiered in 1942, Warner Brothers rushed to cut a chilling scene that showed Rick Blaine at his coldest, heartlessly trying to profit as a desperate man begged for his life to escape the Nazis. This wasn't the only moment buried by Hollywood. From censored scenes to secret inspirations, the iconic Casablanca holds dark secrets that many fans never knew. A story born from a real-life trip to Nazi-occupied Europe, a smoky French nightclub, and a black jazz pianist captivated screenwriter Murray Burnett, inspiring the unforgettable setting of Rick's Cafe. As one of Hollywood's most celebrated films, Casablanca became a legend. But what was left on the cutting room floor reveals a side of the film's history that's rarely told. Let's uncover the hidden truths behind this timeless masterpiece. Casablanca, one of cinema's greatest classics, had a chaotic journey to the screen. Based on the unproduced play Everybody Comes to Rick's, the story initially differed significantly, with Rick Blaine as a lawyer and Ilsa, known as Lois, as a bold character. The play's anti-Nazi message and Lois's seductive tactics deterred Broadway producers, leading Warner Brothers to purchase it for $20,000, a record for an unproduced play. The timing was significant, as the deal was made on December 8, 1941, the day after Pearl Harbor. The production itself was disorganized, with even the cast doubting the film's potential. Humphrey Bogart, known for gangster roles, questioned his suitability as a romantic lead, while Ingrid Bergman took the role reluctantly. Adding to the chaos, the script was incomplete, often being rewritten mid-filming. Iconic scenes, like Rick and Ilsa's reunion, were constantly adjusted, reflecting the uncertainty behind the scenes. Amid this turmoil, creativity thrived. Bogart improvised many memorable lines, including, "Here's looking at you, kid." The film's famous ending was decided late, with the crew voting for Ilsa to leave with Victor. Even the line, "Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship," was added post-filming, cementing the film's enduring charm. Director Michael Curtis's heavy Hungarian accent created humorous misunderstandings, such as calling for a poodle instead of a puddle. Budget constraints required clever solutions, like using a miniature plane and fog for the airport scene. These creative choices contributed to the film's atmospheric and iconic visuals. The film faced strict censorship from Joseph Breen's production code. Suggestions of corruption, brothels, or exploitation were toned down, requiring subtle storytelling. Rick and Ilsa's romance was conveyed through longing glances and coded dialogue, enhancing the emotional intensity. Character adjustments due to censorship also improved the film. Captain Renault's predatory behavior was softened, making him more charming. Dialogue changes, such as swapping lousy bartender for very poor bartender, forced the filmmakers to emphasize subtext, deepening the film's emotional resonance. Despite the chaos, Casablanca benefited from its timing and restrictions. Released shortly after the Allied invasion of North Africa, it gained immediate relevance. The blend of romance, patriotism, and improvisation turned this troubled production into a timeless masterpiece. Casablanca, released in 1942, is one of the most iconic films in cinematic history. Set against the backdrop of World War II, it tells the story of Rick Blaine, Humphrey Bogart, an American expatriate who runs a nightclub in the Vichy-controlled city of Casablanca. The film was not an immediate success upon its release, but gained traction over time, largely due to its emotional depth, strong performances, and timely themes of sacrifice, patriotism, and love. The movie's premiere occurred on November 26, 1942, at the Hollywood Theater, though stars like Bogart and Ingrid Bergman were notably absent. While Casablanca did not have a massive box office draw initially, it would go on to become a classic, admired for its storytelling and resonance with wartime audiences. The film's release timing was strategic. The story's themes resonated deeply with the audience, particularly in the context of the war. In fact, the film's impact was strengthened by a real-world connection. President Franklin D. Roosevelt saw Casablanca shortly before his meeting with Winston Churchill at the Casablanca Conference in January 1943. Roosevelt was reportedly moved by the movie's depiction of resistance against tyranny and its themes of sacrifice. This further fueled the film's popularity, and it became a cultural touchstone, blending real-world history with cinematic drama. Despite its eventual success, Casablanca faced challenges during production and its initial release. The film's budget exceeded expectations, and wartime conditions, including theater hour restrictions and fuel rationing, limited its distribution. The movie grossed $3.7 million in its first run, but this was not extraordinary given that other films in the same year, like For Whom the Bell Tolls, grossed far more. However, Casablanca received a boost in 1944 when it was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, an impressive feat for a film that many initially saw as merely a wartime drama. It went on to win 3 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director for Michael Curtis, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Over the years, Casablanca became more than just a wartime film. It has grown into a symbol of love, loss, and personal sacrifice. Its famous lines, such as, "Here's looking at you, kid," and its unforgettable music, particularly the song As Time Goes By, have cemented its place in cinematic history. The performances of Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman are often highlighted as the emotional core of the film. Bogart, in particular, went on to receive widespread acclaim for his portrayal of Rick, a character who embodies both cynicism and redemption. In the years following its release, Casablanca encountered some challenges with censorship and preservation. In the 1950s, the German version of the film underwent heavy alterations to remove any references to Nazi Germany and the war. These changes, including the removal of key scenes like the singing of La Marseillaise, weakened the film's political message. In 1988, Casablanca was also subject to controversy when Ted Turner aired a colorized version of the film. The process was heavily criticized by critics and cinephiles who argued that it detracted from the film's artistic integrity. Despite these controversies, Casablanca remains a beloved classic, celebrated for its lasting emotional power and its reflection of wartime ideals. Thanks for watching.